he also, this is all rather interwoven, just prior to this girlfriend, he was dating this girl that her name was Heather, I won't say her last name, a beautiful girl. And our family took her in, and I mean, she was bright. I mean, I said took her in, you know, in our hearts. And she's actually the godmother of one of my grandchildren, my daughter, and she got along just real well. And he broke up with her because he found out that this woman that he was going to marry, he was engaged to her, was a call girl. And it just shocked him to no end. It just disturbed him. I mean, he was kind of messed up for a little while. So somehow this is related, because in 2007, when the real trouble started, this woman comes back into his life and wants to be his friend again.
Okay, I don't want to jump too far ahead.
Right, but that'll go on later.
Okay, so he had two women. He had dated a woman.
Right.
She comes back later.
Right.
He was going to marry her, but she had extracurricular activities that he did not approve of.
Right. Right.
And then,
she had a button. Now he found he had a button on her phone, and he just pushed it. It goes to the police station. She said she was a CIA agent. I said, no, Tim, no. You're really too gullible. He's very naive.
Okay. We didn't say, how old is Tim?
Right today, he's 32.
Okay.
32 in January.
32. So, and this all started in 2005. Let's do some math, 4 years ago, so he was in his late 20s.
Right.
Okay. So then he quits this job. And if you guys have any questions, jump on in.
Okay.
We're just trying to get the time frame.
Yeah.
He finds out this owner of the place has extracurricular activities.
Yes.
Different kinds, but maybe related.
Yeah, they're related.
Tim does not like, so he quits that job, and then the trouble begins.
Yeah, the first indication of trouble was one night some man just broke down his front door and put a gun to his head.
To Tim's head?
To Tim's head, yeah.
So Tim was at home, somebody breaks in and put the gun to his head, and...
Right, and Tim just stared him out and dared him to pull the trigger.
So he wasn't police, he didn't identify himself
no,
as any...
No, wasn't the police, no.
Kind of investigative officer or anything?
No.
Did Tim call the police on this event?
No, because he was scared. He was afraid that it was the man his daughter...
So he was just hoping that since he quit the job and moved on, and this guy...
Because the man is tied to the police, so it's why he did not call the police. He's an ex-police officer.
The man that owned the company that had the extracurricular activities.
Right.
Okay.
Now, what caused Tim to suspicion that the man who broke in was tied to his ex-employer?
Because the man's stepdaughter that Tim dated warned him that she can't come over to see him anymore at his house because her stepdad was going to send somebody who's going to be very dangerous to do him in. So he had good reason to suspect.
And then Tim had no trouble, so one night a guy comes over and you know this guy you just worked for had extracurricular activities, that you're going to tie the two together or think it's a really odd event.
Really odd, right, really odd. That doesn't happen. Right.
Don't talk to the cops. Sometimes every now and then the wrong house does get hit, but...
It does, you know.
Okay, so Tim gets out of that event.
Yes. Now, and then that was probably maybe March or April. And then in June, it was June 5th, 2005, at 7 o'clock in the evening, 9 Indianapolis police officers bust down his front door. The neighbors saw it.
Did they have a warrant?
Well, they said they did, but there is no warrant. And it was signed, supposedly, I'm going to say her name, Judge Boone, because she does play a part in this. But they took the warrant.
You've never seen the warrant?
No.
Nobody has?
Well, no, I did see it. No,
okay.
But we're not saying where it is. They threatened, he had a friend visiting.
Okay, so Tim was at home with a friend.
With a friend, just sitting there.
9 cops come rushing in his house.
Right.
With a warrant.
With a warrant. They had a warrant. And then they picked him up, threw him against the walls. Afterwards, I mean, he literally had to move to my house for a while.
What was the warrant supposedly for?
It said they were looking for money and drugs.
Okay. Did they find money and drugs?
Money, he had some of his own money, but no drugs.
No drugs?
No drugs, not at all.
And they just found cash?
Yeah, both of him and his friend, and they took that with them. It was about $4,000. Tim has a safe down there. He doesn't, like me, I don't use banks, I don't trust them. Kind of a Federal Reserve thing. And, anyway, they opened the safe and they took the money. And they threatened him and said, if you mention this to anybody, we're going to kill you.
The 9 cops?
The 9 cops. Then when they left, the neighbors tell me that they're throwing things. They're saying bad words, you know. Kids are out there playing. You know, they're just out, you know. They're mad because they had been set up.
So these 9 cops you don't think were related at this point? They thought that maybe they were legitimately looking for drugs?
No, well, no, I think no. But they were not going to report it. What was going on was, which we found out later, that they had been told by this same man that Tim found out that he was working with.
Now, you know some people are going to have problems with that, because why would these 9 cops jeopardize their jobs?
Oh, I know, but well, they got power. Let me tell you, nobody can touch them because they keep the money. I mean, this is still going on. These same group of cops. I know 2 of them names.
They've just gotten so big. Okay, so that's the next incident. We have the first.
And it was never reported. No warrant. And they have since come back in and tried to steal it. And they busted in his house and taken all the papers they could find.
So that incident is not documented in the Indianapolis Police Department?
No.
But it's not even just Tim's word. There are neighbors that could testify this event happened.
Right, yes, neighbors.
Okay, so now we have the second event. First we have not a police officer getting him, and then 9 police officers bust in, take his money. Don't charge him with anything?
No.
Nothing?
No, nothing.
Just rough him up, take his cash,
threaten him,
and leave.
Know. And then after that, and I don't have all the dates.
That's fine.
I mean, Tim was like, tell me, he's always being arrested and taken downtown. But then they keep his car, he gets to walk home. Until the first incident here.
Wait, you're saying that in between what they have documented, they would pick him up for just little things?
Yeah, they would just stop him, and they were just harassing him.
Okay, but they wouldn't charge him with it?
No. I mean, well, no, I think there might be some little police report made, but... And sometimes there wasn't a police report made. I have not gone back that far.
So they would just pick him up, there were a couple incidences, and take him down to the station, book him for a night or something?
Or not. I mean,
just let him go?
Yeah, and they were harassing him, trying to get him nervous, you know, because he had something on them. Now, they're trying to turn the tail and make him just really fearful of them.
And what you're saying he had on them was this incident where they busted down his door with
no warrant,
no legitimate reason.
That's right.
They didn't even, if they thought they had one, they didn't even find it.
Right.
And then there's no documentation, so it sounds fishy anyway.
Right.
Okay, so then he gets arrested, and then we come to the first event.
And the judge, you could read the name, Judge Boom. You could read it, but because her name plays back in it, and it's totally different.